What is going on, everyone? I'm coming at you with some more One Piece gameplay. Today's matchup is between Kinemon and Smoker, and I gotta say, guys, Kinemon is really strong, I think. I think he's one of the better decks in the format just because of how well he matches up against all the other leaders. I think he has a chance in every single matchup. And against Black, he can do so much against their blockers, and being able to deny your opponent cards from hand is pretty important. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use Momo to search top 5. And we're going to find a Yamato here. The cards that rest in this deck are super important against Black because of cards like Borsalino. I think Borsalino is pretty crazy. And they're going to go ahead and play the Smoker that's unkillable by effects. So we're going to swing 5 at leader here, and they're going to opt to counter out of it. And then we're going to use leader effect here to play a Yamato. And this card is important in this matchup because it forces your opponent to deal with it right away. And I like playing this card here because it is such a pressure card in certain matchups. And on this curve, a lot of decks can't deal with it. There's only a very select few plays that can kill this. One being a Jet Pistol, and committing your entire turn at this point in the game just to remove a Yamato with a Jet Pistol is incredibly difficult. We're going to see a Smoker swing at life here. Just reading the effect here, it was a Paradise Waterfall, but I can't pop it at all. It's not like Borsalino. We're going to see Smoker swing, and we're going to see a Don Quixote Roxanate played here. And because I only have one body on board, my leader effect is still live, so my Yamato could go pretty crazy here. So I use leader effect to pay 3 for a Yamato to rest the blocker. I swing 8 with my Yamato at his leader. Because I want to force 2 cards out of hand, but he's not going to be able to counter out of it. And then I also swing at the blocker here, just to kind of guarantee that there's no blocker for future turns, and just really force him to deal with this Yamato. Losing those 2 life early really does suck, especially because there was a trigger card as well as a Suru in the life there. So we're going to see Smoker go ahead and swing 5, which we're going to happily counter out of with a 1k, and then we're going to go ahead and see Smoker swing 5 again, which will take a life here, and then we're going to see a Sakazuki come down to pop the Yamato that's rested. Because again, they just cannot afford to have it up, because it will just single-handedly end the game here. So again, we're on our 8 Dawn turn, and I don't really feel comfortable that we can play Odin yet until we can clear this baby Smoker. So we're going to swing 6 at it, and it's going to go down, and at that point I'm feeling a bit more confident. So we're going to use the leader effect here to play the Odin, and we're going to leave 1 non-active for a Paradise Waterfall. And while my opponent can get rid of the Odin with a combination of different things, using all their resources to get rid of the Odin could present a problem here, because if they do not kill it, it's quite possible the game's over next turn. So they're going to minus the cost on the Yamato, which means that I know they're not killing my Odin this turn, which makes me feel like I'm in a pretty great situation if I can protect this Yamato. Things like Kobe can still kill her, but I want to force my opponent to use something like a Kobe on her, because, again, anything that I can prevent being swung at my life here is super duper important. So I go ahead and I pay 1 for Paradise Waterfall, and then I pitch 2 more 2Ks to protect the Yamato and restand it, which means now it's safe from the Smoker swing. And the Smoker's going to go ahead and swing 8 at my life here, which I'm going to happily take. And then they go ahead and they drop the Kobe to pop the Yamato, and that means that they only have 2 cards in hand. And at this point in time, I am very comfortable with that, because that means I'll be able to potentially play a card that can rest their Kobe, play some blockers here. So I go ahead and swing 9 at the Sakazuki here. It's not really prudent to protect it. We're going to use the leader effect here to pay 2 for, to pay 1 for the Momonosuke, but we use leader effect beforehand, because if we do find something like an Izo, now we can play it for only 2 cost. Because it's when you activate it, it's not when it's played. So we're gonna rest that. We're gonna pay 3 to, sorry, we're gonna swing 8 at the Kobe, okay, and then we're gonna play 2 blockers. So it looks like we have a Toki and a Capone there. I completely forgot what I was doing. I mean, I could have swung the Odin and the Kinemon. I think that's probably the better play. Force out 2 swings, but I could have maybe gotten a card out of hand if I swung with Kinemon first, or I could have swung Kinemon first, and then he knows that he can't swing. He can't. protect it, and then I just swing Odin at life. He swings at my Momo here, and he does have 10 on active, which can be a bit troublesome if he does have the 10 drop Kuzan, which he does have, it looks like. So 10 drop Kuzan is going to come down, and it's going to pop my Beige, which is a target that I'm not too sad about losing, just simply because of the position that I'm in right now. I'm feeling not terrible about my position. I know that my opponent has a couple cards in hand, and I've done a pretty good job of starving him out. So I go ahead and swing 5 at leader here, see what he does, because I'm in a position where if he doesn't counter out of that, I can just go for lethal. Ends up pitching the Gart for 2k. So I pay 1 for a Momo, and then I'm going to activate that Momo to look at the top 5 cards of my deck. And I see a couple of different options here. I grab the Paradise Waterfall just because it's a card that I can use to protect my characters, as well as protect my life. And I'm just trying to think the best course of action here. It's probably to swing at life pretty heavily here, but also I probably do want to swing 5 with my Ezo. Now that I've gotten that card out, I can swing 8 with Odin. I can paste 3 to swing 8 with Odin again, potentially, but I'm going to opt to keep him alive here, so that way Kuzan just can't swing at it, and I have 3 on active, which means that I can present that I have a Punk Gibson, or if I get a Punk Gibson in life, then I'm in a pretty great spot. I still have a blocker, I have a fair bit of counter in hand, and I have the Paradise Waterfall up, so I'm not feeling too terrible. They could load up both of their characters and just swing at my life, but again, any kind of removal card here would be super great for my opponent. If he has a Kobe, if he has something like a Meteor Volcano, I think is the card that I'm looking at. And so I don't think he can go for life here without removing either the Odin or the Toki first. I mean, they're both pretty strong cards, but with 3 Dawn active here, as well as, you know, I have 7 cards or 5 cards in hand, 6 cards in hand, some point like that. There's a lot of pressure on Smoker here to, you know, just kind of go for it, and potentially if you can just protect your board, you can still win the game. So he's just kind of dividing Dawn up right now, seeing what he can do. He can get his Smoker to 12k max, which I actually would be able to counter out of one 12k swing just based on the cards in my hand right now. So I'm feeling pretty good. He goes ahead and he's just thinking about what he wants to do here. Again, 1 Kobe. Again, 2 swings at life here. He has to use some for removal, which is the whole thing. And he's already -1 cost, but it doesn't matter at this point because everything's within threshold. So he goes ahead and he plays the Kobe. He pitches the Helmeppo to pop my Odin, and we're going to go through the deck here, and we're going to look for something to play, and I actually end up grabbing the Okiku, I think, at the end of it. There's not really anything else that I'd rather grab. I think that, you know, Kiku is probably the strongest call at this point in the game. So we do end up playing the Kiku, putting myself in a position where I'm not terribly far down. And I think at this point my opponent thinks, okay, there's no way that I can go for lethal with just this much Dawn, because, like, again, like, at this point he can do you know, 10k. So he swings at my Ezo here. And I'm like, okay, yeah, well, you're swinging at my Ezo 7. I'm going to opt to protect it and restand it. And now it's not a target, and you use one of your swings. He's going to go ahead and pop the Kiku, and I still have, like, to his knowledge, I still have 2 cards in hand, plus there's still 1 card. He swings 10 at my life, I take it, and then he goes ahead and plays a Porcelino with no cards in hand. So now I'm in a position where I could have lethal here, and I actually do make a pretty big mistake here, and that is, I don't swing the Ezo first. I really should just swing 5 with my Ezo first, but I end up swinging 5 with Momo here, and I'm not really quite sure why I did that, but I swing 5 with Momo at his life. He ends up blocking it. I swing 5 with my Ezo, and then I swing 8 at leader here, and all he's got is that card. So that's going to be the game. Kinemon's really strong deck. I think it's really good against black, and I think there's a lot of potential for it going forward in the meta. But until next time, Monty out.